Here's your Independence Day weekend weather outlook. After another round of smoke from the record-breaking Canadian wildfire season, smoky skies and unhealthy air quality continue on Friday in the Northeast. Air quality will improve in the northeastern U.S. as a weather system pushes the smoke out of the region. A new round of smoke will filter into the upper Midwest behind the frontal boundary later into the weekend. Meanwhile, wildfires continue to rage in northern Canada. Very hot and mostly dry conditions continue under a dome of high pressure in Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley. Heat indices in many locations have soared above 110 degrees for much of this past week. High pressure will continue to persist with more hot and humid conditions over the holiday weekend. The sinking air of the high pressure will limit storm development for much of Texas, especially central and eastern Texas, the Gulf Coast and Florida. While most of the days will remain dry, there is a low chance of isolated air mass thunderstorms in the southern U.S. and a few sea breeze frontal storms on the Florida peninsula. On Friday, the pattern of storms firing on the leeward side of the Rocky Mountains and propagating around the high pressure in the southern plains will continue. This pattern has been in place much of the week and has already led to rounds of severe storm clusters, known as mesoscale convective systems, producing hail, high winds, and flooding. Scattered storms, some severe, are possible Friday afternoon into the overnight. Storms will fire in eastern Colorado and eastern New Mexico, then move east through the Texas Panhandle, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Iowa, and Missouri, then into Illinois and Indiana, Kentucky and Tennessee as storms ride around the ridge. Some strong storms might make it into northern Alabama and North Georgia by early Saturday morning. A pattern shift over the weekend will break the trend of the ridge-riding storms but not erase rain and storm chances. On Saturday, July 1st, a trough of low pressure will move through the mid-Mississippi Valley and Great Lakes. As of this recording, the Storm Prediction Center already has an enhanced risk of severe storms for eastern Missouri, central and southern Illinois, central and southern Indiana, and the western half of Kentucky. A larger slight risk of severe storms is forecasted for much of the mid-Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley, and Mid-South. The threat remains highest for severe winds and large hail, but a few tornadoes are also possible. Especially if the storms cluster together, the primary tornado threat would be for quick spin-up QLCS vortexes. QLCS tornadoes can happen with little to no warning on the leading edge of convective systems, increasing the need to take action to seek sturdy shelter if severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings are issued. Scattered storms are also possible for Saturday in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic in the warm and moist environment ahead of the trough, as well as along a dry line in eastern New Mexico and West Texas. Isolated pop-up storms are possible Saturday in the southeast and along localized sea breeze fronts in South Florida. Isolated storms are also possible east of the Rockies in Montana, Wyoming, and the Dakotas. The low-pressure trough will make its way east on Sunday. The Storm Prediction Center already has a Day 3 outlook slight risk for Sunday, stretching from the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers eastward through the Ohio Valley, Central Appalachians, and the Mid-Atlantic. Severe winds are the primary threat with the storms, along with flooding, frequent lightning, and hail. As eastward progression of the trough somewhat stalls, scattered rain and storms are also possible in the mid-Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley, and southeast U.S. The chance for some isolated storms in the afternoon over the eastern Rockies and High Plains also continues on Sunday. Scattered rain and storms will persist in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Mid-South, and Mid-Mississippi Valley on Monday, July 3rd and into Tuesday, July 4th. Calm weather behind the trough will be found in the Great Lakes and Central Appalachians. The next trough will spark rain and storms in the upper Midwest in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota, possibly into Iowa late on July 4th. Meanwhile, the active pattern in the eastern U.S. is contrasted by quiet conditions along the west coast with warm and dry conditions. Red flag warnings are in place for areas of the interior Pacific Northwest through Friday and Saturday. Excessive heat warnings are in place from Saturday, July 1st through Tuesday, July 4th for the desert Southwest. While the tropics are calm for the Atlantic, with no tropical development threatening the continental U.S. over the holiday weekend, interests on Mexico's Pacific coast should stay updated on Hurricane Beatriz. The Category 1 storm is forecasted to closely parallel the coast, bringing tropical storm and hurricane conditions to the Mexican coast between Maruata, Manzanillo and Puerto Vallarta Friday through Saturday. The hurricane is expected to weaken as it turns northwest, but its remnants may also impact Cabo San Lucas with rain and wind on Monday, July 3rd. For Tuesday, July 4th, the West Coast will continue to see warm and dry weather, while the Mid-South, Upper Midwest, and Northeast will see the highest chances of rain and storms. The Gulf Coast and Florida will remain hot with more isolated chances of storms, and the Great Lakes will stay quiet on Independence Day between storm systems. In addition, the weather in Hawaii looks good over the holiday weekend with mostly sunny days and only isolated showers from trade winds. Sunshine on Friday and Saturday will give way to showery weather Sunday through Tuesday in many parts of Alaska, including Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Juneau. Here's your boat, beach, and barbecue grades from We're Getting There Travel for Friday, June 30th through Tuesday, July 4th, 2023. Happy 4th of July from We're Getting There Travel.